Breathless, relentless, unforgettable. Newcastle versus Arsenal felt less like a football match and more like a blockbuster action movie, packed with tension, controversy, and moments that had fans on the edge of their seats. On a weekend where the Giants stumbled, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham all dropping points, this was Arsenal's golden chance to stake their claim at the top. But nothing about a trip to St. James's Park is ever straightforward. For the Gunners, this stadium has been a graveyard in recent years. 3 straight defeats here in the Premier League, not a single goal scored. This was always going to be a stormy night for Mikel Arteta's men. From the very first whistle, you could feel the crackling intensity in the air. Challenges were sharper, the tempo faster, the tension palpable. But what truly lit the fuse in the first half were the referees' decisions. In the 14th minute, the game erupted in controversy. A sloppy back pass from Jacob Murphy gifted Victor Gyökeres a golden chance. He burst through like an arrow, one-on-one with Nick Pope, and went down inside the box. The referee didn't hesitate, pointed straight to the spot. It looked like Arsenal's moment to seize control. But then came VAR, and suddenly, the stadium held its breath. After a long review, the decision flipped. Pope had just managed to graze the ball with the tip of his boot before colliding with Gyökeres. No penalty. For Arsenal, it felt like daylight robbery. The perfect chance to strike first had vanished in an instant. For Newcastle's fans, it was an explosion of relief and joy, as if they themselves had scored. Moments like these don't just change the scoreline, they change the rhythm, the psychology, the entire mood of a match. And sure enough, Arsenal's composure began to wobble. Yet, before all that drama, Arsenal had actually started brightly. Eberechi Eze tested Pope early with a curling strike that forced a stunning diving save. The Gunners kept the pressure on, dictating possession, probing with clever, varied attacks. But time and again, they found themselves denied by a wall in gloves. Nick Pope was immaculate. Razor-sharp reflexes, flawless positioning, and a calmness that steadied a Newcastle defense under siege. Every time Arsenal thought they had found a way through, Pope was there to slam the door shut. Just when Arsenal thought a goal was only a matter of time, the game turned cruel. In the 34th minute, from what looked like a harmless corner, Sandro Tonali played it short with Anthony Gordon and floated the ball into the box. Nick Woltemade muscled past Gabriel, rose highest, and buried a powerful header beyond David Raya. St. James's Park exploded. Arsenal players swarmed the referee, furious, insisting Gabriel had been shoved in the back. But the answer was a cold, unwavering no. No foul. The bitterness stung even more given Arsenal's reputation as the Premier League's set-piece kings, only to be undone by the very weapon they so often wield against others. The mood shifted instantly. Arsenal's flow evaporated, replaced by frustration and rash decisions. Gabriel even clashed angrily with Woltemade right under the referee's nose. The tension inside the stadium was suffocating. Newcastle didn't create a barrage of chances, but they thrived on the atmosphere, feeding off the chaos. At halftime, Arsenal trudged down the tunnel seething with anger, while Newcastle walked tall, 1-0, thanks to their ruthlessness and perfect timing. Once again, St. James's Park had delivered the same old lesson. Domination means nothing if you can't put the ball in the net. The second half picked up where the first left off, tight, tense, teetering. Newcastle nearly doubled their lead when the crossbar rattled, sending shockwaves through the away end. Arsenal responded with wave after wave of pressure. Their best moment came in the 59th minute when Jurrien Timber ghosted in to meet a cross with a thumping header. But again, no joy. Pope stood tall, immovable, commanding his box like it belonged only to him. The game swung back and forth, Arsenal pushing higher, wider, searching for cracks. Even Declan Rice had to drop deep, scrambling to make a last-ditch clearance inside his own 6-yard box, a defensive moment that his teammates celebrated as though it were a goal. Both managers rolled the dice. Eddie Howe withdrew Woltemade and Gordon. Arteta countered by unleashing Martinelli, Merino, and Odegaard. The impact was instant. In the 84th minute, Declan Rice whipped in a pinpoint cross, and Mikel Merino rose above everyone, thundering a header into the corner. Pope didn't even move. Arsenal were level. Arteta had once spoken about his finishers, players off the bench who could kill games, change games. And in this match, his faith was rewarded. Just minutes later, Arsenal were staring down fear again. The ball struck Gabriel's hand inside the box, and suddenly Newcastle players swarmed the referee, screaming for a penalty. For a moment, it felt like disaster. But VAR came to Arsenal's rescue this time, showing the ball had brushed off Gabriel's leg before bouncing onto his arm. Relief swept through the traveling fans. Technology had spared them. Then came stoppage time. The tension was unbearable, the air electric. And that's when the breakthrough arrived. From yet another corner, Martin Ødegaard curled in a wicked delivery. Nick Pope rushed out to punch, but was blocked in traffic. And Gabriel, the man who had lived on the edge all night, rose into the sky and powered home a header. Redemption. Ecstasy. Arsenal led 2-1 in the 6th minute of added time. The irony was poetic. Undone by a set piece in the first half, yet rescued by set pieces in the dying moments. As the final whistle blew, Arsenal players collapsed into embraces, their joy uncontainable. For the first time in years, the Gunners walked out of St. James's Park with 3 points. And it felt fully, utterly deserved after such a courageous performance. The numbers told the story of dominance: 64% possession, 20 shots, over 2 expected goals, and 12 corners. Newcastle, by contrast, were second best in almost every metric. Yet their grit and discipline had made it an agonizing battle, forcing Arsenal to dig deeper than ever before. After the match, Mikel Arteta called it a step forward in mentality. He stressed that enduring those brutal, suffocating moments was the only path to reaching another level. It's a massive opportunity to make a statement and to prove to everybody and ourselves the team we are. A comeback in a stadium haunted with bad memories, a performance of resilience, maturity, and belief. Proof that this Arsenal side is no longer just a team with talent, but one with the steel and spirit to chase greatness. Bukayo Saka called the victory a powerful statement. It's unbelievable. Late winners. We got what we deserved, and that's why we're so happy. On the other side, Eddie Howe admitted Newcastle were far from their best. He praised Nick Pope for his string of crucial saves, but lamented the goals conceded from set pieces. 2 really late goals here at home hurt. We have to reflect and acknowledge that we weren't at our best. I thought we tried. We gave everything to the game. It was really physical. That was probably the key thing, the number of corners. The weight of pressure eventually told. No lack of effort, but the little details have cost us. Former striker Leigh Ferdinand was harsher in his assessment. He suggested Gabriel would be embarrassed watching back the moment Woltemade bullied him for Newcastle's opener. Yet he also praised the Brazilian defender for stepping up when it mattered most, with the match-winning header. On Sky Sports, Gary Neville framed it as the kind of victory that can change a team's belief. This is the sort of win that convinces players they can actually go on and achieve something. Arteta was criticized for being too cautious last week, but tonight he was braver, and he was rewarded. This was a victory stamped with resilience. For a while, it looked like the same old story. Arsenal trapped, frustrated, and punished. But from Mikel Merino's equalizer to Gabriel's last-gasp redemption, the Gunners clawed their way back with spirit and steel. On a weekend when rivals stumbled, Arsenal seized the chance to climb higher. More importantly, they've survived one of the most brutal runs on the calendar. Away to Old Trafford, Anfield, St. James's Park, and a clash with Manchester City, yet still emerged with 13 points. That's a statement in itself. Beyond the numbers, this win sends a message. Arsenal are no longer fragile, no longer a side that crumbles under pressure. This is the look of a team built for the long haul, a team learning how to win ugly, how to win late, how to win when it really matters. And maybe this year will be different. Maybe, just maybe, Arsenal are finally ready to go the distance in the title race.